And it's time for game number 4 between Eddie and Tim on Arena. It's a Chinese war this time. And let's start with the maps immediately. Let's see if the Chinese war any boars could be stolen, just in case. I don't think so. No, Eddie got one inside. Second inside as well, so that's alright. I think no steals should happen, so I can focus on the maps here. I tend to forget steals, boar steals on Arena, but I don't think both players are going to try this time. And let's go for the map. Main stone for Tim, very safe in the back actually. Second gold and third gold safe in the back, that's awesome. That's more or less a main gold here. Main gold for, it's more than main gold. Main gold actually for Tim, kind of forwardish, not too nice. Berries forwardish, but close to the 4 deer, so Tim could lure them towards the mill if he wanted to. Also one relic inside, which is awesome for him. Only the second stone outside. Tim should be happy with this map. Could be even better when the deer was inside, but otherwise really fine. Also one relic inside will help him. And looking at the map, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 maps, 4 relics on a screen. Almost all 5 relics, and a little bit closer to Tim. Maybe of course those. This one definitely closer to Eddie, but he's got 2 relics close. Not this Tim, and Eddie only 1 close. Those more or less in the middle. So should be nice to see a little bit of a monk war here, or maybe early castle. It's unlikely. Let's see. We have extra gold on the right hand side, we have extra stone on the right hand side, and we have extra gold on the left hand side. That's all pretty nice here. And I'm going to change to Eddie's map. You can see another stone here. That's the second stone for Eddie outside. The main gold kind of forwardish, also not pretty nice. Can't really fit a mining camp behind this, and TC in front of that could be attacked eventually. So let's see what Eddie's going to do. It looks like he used the palisade trick again. That is a deer running around, and then he's walling this towards the TC. So when the deer is walking back to its original starting point, it has to go all the way around, and that's why it's going towards the TC here. I've seen this a few times before. Also, same principle. So the deer wants to go around here, it has to go towards the TC. It's really easy lure here for Eddie. He's doing this quite often actually, and I've done it myself. It's not too difficult to do. Of course, it's not easy, but if you're an arena player, you get used to it in time. Both players going to feudal age. Eddie a lot earlier actually. Of course, he's had the deer, while Tim, yeah, he's luring the deer in, but it's taking a little bit longer. Only now going to feudal age, but he got all 4 deer apparently, which is pretty nice for him. Eddie's still faster, probably got a better start doing stable and barracks blacksmith. Actually expected. You want to go for map control, you want to get relics in, and in the castle only a little bit later, because it would delay your boom by quite a lot here. And unless all your opponent's all gold is outside and the main gold forward and you can see it, doesn't really make sense to get a castle, I guess. At least not in this level of game. Both players upping to castle age. Eddie of course is a little bit faster again, and we have 2 golds outside for Eddie, and that was the extra stone. Only the main stone and safe in the back for Eddie. Actually not the best map here. And of course Eddie taking a fight with Tim here, but Tim has to go back. You could see the 2 scouts, and we're arriving at castle age where Eddie is doing what? Monastery coming up, 3 scouts in the field for Eddie, so it's going to take map control quite easily here. Also TC on the woodline and main gold. Actually it's a pretty nice position here. It's got a mining camp on the other side, 5 villagers on gold, so we should see monks come out pretty fast here now. And also sending a villager forward, that is Eddie, so we might see a siege workshop as well. But Eddie's house on 35 population, getting TC number 3. So this villager probably just for a few houses for the time being. Eddie of course is controlling the map here, and Tim, let me see, is he doing 1 monastery is up? He's gonna get this relic in very easily. And actually Tim is doing a castle. I missed this, but he's in stone, 5 villages still. So he wants to protect his main gold here, which is not really necessary in my opinion, but having a castle here will mean Tim can boom this out. And if he's going for 4 TCs, then he should be fine. Problem is his boom is already delayed by getting castle up. Second TC coming up just now, 3rd TC not on the way yet. And of course Tim can see the golds, but when he managed to snipe a monk here, something I missed just now, it doesn't really matter. But this scout is gonna survive, should go down the next time. Eddie is getting relics in happily, and Tim should be able to get the 2nd relic, something that Eddie should not have let happen. But Eddie won't get this relic back. It's inside Tim's base. Eddie is gonna snipe 1 monk, maybe 2, lost the scout to conversion, but now the Chukunu is there, and of course the Chinese do get loom, so these scouts are gonna go down, gonna search for a few ancient villages maybe, but it's not happening. And the Chukunu takes taking care of the rest. 8 attack, that's really a lot here. So Tim probably is going to start booming now as well, unless he wants to go for map control, which is pretty unlikely. And Eddie is going for relic number 3 now, or number 5 in total. Oh, he's gonna have a little bit of a relic advantage. Also bring the relics to the back monastery, relatively back. That's probably the good idea. Sanctity coming in for Edie as well. Looks like he wants to stay on monks. The siege workshop is up around the 20-minute mark. This house not being finished, and of course Tim now has 2 scouts, and he can go around and look what Eddie's actually doing here. Eddie is happily booming now. That's probably a good thing to do, because the monk rush Chinese war, monks against monks, okay, this might work, but against this castle, Eddie doesn't really have a chance, and rushing that with rams is not a good idea, because the Chukunu are taking rams down pretty fast, actually. So Eddie right now 4 more villagers, doing Boso, a little bit late in my opinion, but yeah, he's fine. He's still ahead of Tim, 4 villagers, and Tim should have 3 TCs up now. There we go, 1 on the wood line, relatively close to the gold, pretty nice TC spot actually, and well, could have been a little bit better maybe. Not sure, maybe 1 spot more, and then we could fit 3 farms here, maybe 1 more here. Well, that's alright. And for now, I guess players are just going to boom and maybe be a little bit annoying, but there shouldn't be too much things happening. I'm going a little bit faster now. Eddie is going with the mangonel to get in range of this wood line, but Tim, just in case, moved the villagers away already. Probably going to fit a lumber camp here later on. And while Eddie is doing wheelbarrow now and having only 55 villagers, what's happened here? Didn't he produce villagers? Because Tim now in the same number of villagers, and Eddie was ahead before. Not sure what he did here. Maybe he kept his TC a little bit idle. And Tim actually is the one who is clicking up to Imperial Age. Eddie is not too far away from it. He could go pretty fast actually. And I think having the stronger eco going to Imp like a minute later or so, it's probably going to favor Eddie here. But if Tim can do the damage with, he's doing crossbowman actually, fletching ballistics coming in, he can do the damage with traps and get a castle down, then he might have an advantage here. I guess the only big advantage, or the 2 big advantages for the Chinese having an Imperial Age is monks and traps. The Chukunu can go without Imperial Age and still have a very strong army. Right now, Eddie is 180 stone. He is putting down a castle, and it's pretty well protected because there's a lot of buildings in front of it, and you can't just go with the trap here. Also, Eddie, of course, got a lot of mangonels here, monks, and should be fine. You know, putting a lumber camp here, probably a smart thing to do. Also, second siege workshop coming up immediately, and while Tim is already to Imperial Age, Eddie just advanced to the Imperial Age, and now the question is what is going to happen. Eddie doing Onager. Very, very smart option in my opinion, because Arbalest researched for Tim, and we know how fast Arbalest can die to Onagers. The Chukunu on the other hand, if micro, they can take down Onagers pretty easily. First trap moving forward for Tim. We have 76 villagers for both players right now, and Tim taking this gold here very happily. He can do it. He can also take this gold, so he should be fine. Eddie maybe should move on to take these golds outside a little bit earlier. Unless he thinks he can beat Tim now without too many... Ooh, nice on a shot here. Without too many losses on the right-hand side, or too much risk of going down. And this trebuchet might go down on the shot, but yep, that's gone. Bye-bye, trebuchet. Another castle coming up for Edie, and I think this transitioning to Imperial Age was a little bit better, a little bit smoother. And the Onager upgrade was really worth everything he's put into it, because the Arbalest can't really do anything against those massed Onagers. Now Eddie going with another TC on the extra gold, which is a very smart thing to do. And at the same time, Tim is trying to find a few villages here, something he won't achieve because Eddie hasn't gone there. And now, of course, Eddie's sending a scout to see what is Tim sending here. Is he going for forward, or is it just the Arbalest? At the same time, Bracer coming in for Eddie, 2 trebuchets are out, and Tim will lose the castle, something that should not happen. He should be able to repair the castle. Probably going to stay on Arbalest now. And I think Edie will be the one who's going in the Chukunu in the next like 10 minutes or so. And this might be hard for Tim. He's going to run into the Onager here. Eddie is not going to get the shot for now, but as soon as this Arbalest stop and are in range of the castle, a few will go down. There we go. Onager Onager taking down all of them. Beautiful. So much for the Arbalest here. That story has been told. And there we go. Edie doing a very early Elite Chukunu actually. Tim a lot of gold, enough stone for another castle almost, but nothing more. He's done Light Cav. So it's going to be Arbalest and Light Cav against Onagers and Elite Chukunu. I dare to predict that Edie is going to win a few fights here. And now the main gold cannot be taken for any more time now, for much longer, because Edie is putting a lot of pressure on Tim's walls at this point. Also, this TC is a really nice idea for Edie, I think, and he can put some stables here later on, or archer ranges, depending on what he wants to do. Let's see where Tim is actually going. Does he want to go for this gold as well? You can see it, but he's only going for a house right now, going away with a lot of villagers. Light Cav trying to go for the monks, but Elite Chukunu will take them down rather easily, and at the same time, while Light Cav aren't easy to be converted, there's 2 already being converted for 80 and only 1 Onager being lost. Arbalest trying to go for the Onager, losing 5, 6 of them. That's a good shot, and Edie will be happy about that shot. Now Castle coming up here, and Edie can see this immediately. What is he going to do? He's sending Elite Chukunu and also 2 trebuchets immediately hitting this castle. It's going to go down before it's up. And this is going to be a huge loss for Tim on the left-hand side. Edie not paying attention right now, so Light Cav can take care of these Onagers. Let's see if they're actually succeeding. And the Arbalest should be able to take care of the rest. At the same time, Tim is losing a lot of villagers here, and we have 104 against 87 right now. This castle is not going up. Tim lost the stone apparently. And now there's 2 Onagers, which should be able to deal a good amount of damage to those Arbalest. Also the Elite Chukunu, and another one is still up here. Should do the job, and Tim taking a good fight here, but it's not going to be enough for now. Edie right now has to get the Chukunu back, I guess, and Tim is taking his stone, which is a smart thing to do here. Also getting more siege workshops up, blast furnace coming in for him, so more Light Cav on the way as well. But Arbalest against Elite Chukunu, yeah, Arbalest got 1 more range, of course, and this can be a little bit of an advantage, but Chukunu once fully upgraded, and Edie is doing rocketry right now, gonna be 8 plus 6 attack, and that's really a lot considering that Arbalest only have 40 HP, so these Arbalest will go down pretty fast. Trebuchet hitting the siege workshops. 1 trap might go down, but no, Edie is there with the Chukunu, sending villagers on the left hand side. Now let's see what is Edie planning here. Oh, that's a very ambitious castle, but he's got the Elite Chukunu here, so he will get it up probably, and military numbers 25 for each player roughly, and Eddie's sending more Onagers. He's got a good amount of resources. He can take this gold with 1 TC rather easily, rather undisturbed, and those Arbalest, Tim not paying attention. He's busy on the left hand side trying to take this fight, but the castle still will go up, and let's see, Tim's gold is looking okay. Still he's got a little bit to mine, but in the long game or long terms this will be hard. He's also taking the main gold, something that's good for him. Got 2 relics in the monastery, so gold wise he will be fine for now. Problem is tech-wise, because it doesn't have an answer to Onagers and Elite Chukunu for now, and I'm not sure. Ooh, nice shot here. Not sure how to counter this with any different units. Maybe the monks could take care of the Onagers. That would be very nice. Block printing and redemption on them. But Tim right now switching to Elite Skirmishers. He knows he doesn't have too much gold left, and he's still losing Arbalest to the Onagers. That's only 5 that went down. Not the best trade for Edie here, but then again there is the Elite Chukunu now hitting those Arbalest, and Edie is taking a relatively good fight. Now Tim is overwhelming him, so outnumbering him. Edie has to go back, and as soon as Tim is putting up a castle, the trebuchets are being unpacked by Edie, and Eddie's starting to hit that castle, also getting another castle on to cover the main gold, very, very forward. This one is up, Edie taking a stone with 1 villager, alright. This castle is up as well, and the trebuchets should go down now, because there's enough Light Cav with, do they have +4 attack already? I think we've seen blast furnace, yep, there we go. But, and Edie cancelled this castle, which is probably the better thing to do. Or did he lose it maybe? Does Edie have it? No, he's putting it in the bag, and again cancelling because there's Arbalest. And another try, no, that's just a siege workshop. But Edie is still having a good amount of map control here. Ooh, that Arbalest is doing nice. Eddie's sending villagers now, or isn't he? Not sure. Captain research for Edie, and Tim starting to put up a kind of secret forward on the side here with a few siege workshops, also going to the left hand side with a few Arbalest. Might be able to take down a few villages here, but Eddie is on 113. 15, so it should be fine. On the left-hand side, Tim is attacking Eddie's castle trebuchets here. And I think this castle will go down pretty soon now, but it's nothing that Eddie cannot afford, I feel, because his comfortable score lead. He is taking more villages down. He has spotted those villages taking the extra gold on the right-hand side. Also, siege workshop and castle coming up against this. Eddie even doing siege ram now. And I think having siege rams and onager on the field, this might be really hard. Of course, this castle went down, and Chukunu have to go back. Actually, they could take this fight maybe, but now they're in a good position, I think. And while Eddie might lose if in this onager, no more rams. Chukunu take care of the rest. And these Arbalest here have done a good job. Eddie lost quite a good amount of units here, but nothing major happening. And this Arbalest is kind of a hero here. 20 HP. Let's keep an eye on him. And Tim is still not sending anybody. This Arbalest probably killed like 4, 5, 6 villages maybe already, and numbers will drop for Eddie. But Eddie is going with the siege rams to take the siege workshops down, and even with the lead skirmishes in here, Eddie still has the goal to be able to compete, and the siege rams are a really nice addition here to his army. Eddie also having map control in the middle still with the siege rams. He's going forward, and siege rams plus elite Chukunu. Now this is deadly for Arbalest. Elite skirmishers can do a good job here, and Arbalest finally dying. That's too bad, but did a good job here. And Eddie using the villages to take the ram down. Plate barding armor, skill barding. Eddie now doing light cav. He knows he needs more army, and wants to have fast army at that to take down elite skirmishers. So it makes sense to go for the light cav here. And the elite Chukunu are now the powerhouse, because the siege rams are taking down a lot of damage here, and Eddie can just stand here and shoot at everything that moves or shoots. And the trebuchets are hitting the castle right now. The castle will go down because Tim is not repairing at all. Does he have stone? Yeah, Tim's resource is actually looking okay-ish, but that's too late. Now it's 4, 5, 6 villagers repairing, and castle is down. Didn't help. Eddie losing the control of this TC somehow, and now Tim trying to go with the siege workshop. He wants to go into Eddie's base, maybe disturb the eco a little bit. Tim is holding pretty nice, but Eddie 2k score ahead, and still with a better army in my opinion. Tim will need a good amount of time to get to a point where he has an advantage maybe. And with the siege rams moving forward, also trebuchets in the back, and elite Chukunu, Tim has to move away. He has to go back and try to fight this from distance, while the siege rams are not in the front. A few light cav that won't help Tim too much. Also only 90 villages, that's not enough in my opinion for elite skirmishes and light cav plus Arbalest. But let's see, Eddie got rid of the siege workshop, so he's fine on the right hand side, and he's still controlling the middle. Siege workshop on the left, and archer range coming up, but Eddie probably spotted this already, and I don't think Tim can do too much damage. Now Tim again trying to go away with a few villagers. Eddie got a light cav here, and castle being put up by Tim. Eddie doing a stable, and I'm not sure if this is going up, because Eddie, it might go up, but Eddie is now focusing on the middle, taking this monastery down, so Tim is losing control of the 2 relics that he had, and siege rams just moving towards the TC now. Lichukunu being gathered a little bit behind, and the onager could do a hell of a job here if it wasn't attacking the mining camp. So bye onager. This castle will go up, but Eddie just got all the gold here. It's mined out, and castle won't achieve anything here because what do you get from this? And at the same time, Tim has trouble taking down this army from Eddie. He's now trying to go cavalier, but I'm not sure which gold he wants to do in this. He's very low on all resources. I think onager would have been the only thing, or siege ram, but some form of siege would have been good here against those elite Chukunu. Like this, Eddie is doing light cav now, a lot of elite Chukunu on the front here. That's more than 40 units. Eddie got 74 military units right now, and doing a siege workshop inside Tim's base. Tim got this castle up and on the TC, but doesn't really help. Siege workshop is still up, but Eddie is taking control of the left hand side, and he's slowly but surely taking down all Tim's army. 52 minutes into the game, siege rams now hitting the TC. Gonna go through the archer ranges. Tim is losing the rest of his army. I think this is pretty much GG right now. It doesn't look like he can come back from this. Only 90 villages still and only 21 military units. Yeah, calling the GG here. A very nice game, very strong game from Edie. Going to Imperial Age a minute later, but yeah, more fluently, more smoothly, more, I don't know how to call this. And yeah, Elite Chukunu, Siege Monitor, what else do you want? Maybe Monks, would have been nice. Light Cap in the end, not even Elite Skirmisher for Edie, just for Tim. And yeah, pretty good one, I think. Pretty entertaining Chinese war here. Edie, of course, a little bit too much in control to have it like a balanced game, but very nice one. I hope you enjoyed this and see you in the next games.